How would you describe Joe Burrow if I had never seen him play?
Oh, I love the way he plays. I love the way he played in college. What I like about him most, however, and why I think he is a great player, because they all have ability. I mean, I always hear the phrase, this guy can make all the throws, and I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what it means. It means he can make all the throws, but who the hell can't make all the throws? I mean, if you can't make a throw, you probably shouldn't be a starter in the NFL. There's only 32 of these jobs, and so he's really talented. But I think when you start looking at quarterbacks, because it's always a flip of the coin as far as who's going to be successful as a first-round pick and who's not, who's going to make it, who's going to be regarded ultimately as someone who didn't live up to his billing. I think there's more to it. I think it's the intangibles, and he clearly has it. So he's got an edge to him that right from the beginning, even last year, right from the start, and even when he was coming out of college, you could just tell this guy's wired a little bit differently. Nothing's too big for him. He's confident. He's going to be able to come in and compete. And then the organization did a good job around him. But I'm a big fan. I mean, a big fan of his. Love everything about him. Love the way he carries himself. I wish I had as much swag as he did in the locker room. The cigars are awesome. The whatever he's doing. I mean, the whole package is phenomenal.
But were you cocky at any point in your career?
No. It's just. No, I was confident. I mean, I was confident, but I would never have been described as cocky or brash. And I think that he walks that fine line to where I don't think he's offensive. I think he handles questions extremely well, even controversial moments. When he's been kind of drug into some things because of what people have said, he handles it all very well. And so I'm excited to follow his career. I hated when he got injured, with the knee, and how was he going to respond to that? And I'll go a step further. A few years ago, it was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They make it to the AFC Championship game, a franchise that hadn't had much success. And then last year was Cleveland Browns. And you think of the dog pound and all the great Browns fans over the years and hadn't had much to root for. And now the Bengals, I love seeing it. I love it. It's great for the NFL. It's great for those cities that have those fans that haven't had a chance to really get excited for postseason play. And what he's done and Zach Taylor and all of them is great. Hats off to that organization.
But, it's almost like they get a hall pass. I know the Bengals want to win. Maybe they don't. People don't expect them to win, but they do. But then you juxtapose that to Matthew Stafford. Like the pressure on the Rams playing a home Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And if he wins, he's probably going into the Hall of Fame if he wins this Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That pressure, like when you won your first one, what was the pressure like when you went back for the second time when you were expected to win?
Well, there's still that pressure. I mean, I wouldn't say because we had won a Super Bowl that then there's not as much pressure.
There'd be more, I would think.
Yeah, in some ways. Yeah, I think in some ways. I think it's how I heard Matthew Stafford, and it's something that they talk about internally, and I know Sean McVay does, that, and I like this phrase, that pressure is a privilege. I like that because you have to play in big games in order for there to be pressure. I'm not going to name teams. I've done that before, and then the Twitter world wakes up, and then they, but there are teams in this league that don't feel much pressure, and when they get out of September, there's no pressure on them. They just go play. And for Matthew Stafford and the Rams, when Stafford was traded for, to know, I mean, the questions were always, and we had their games, is how's he going to play in the big game? How's he going to handle this? Because in Detroit, he didn't win a playoff game. He didn't have a good record against teams with 500 records and all of that. And what he has proven is what I knew and really what my career was about. If you have good players on your team and you have good coaching, as a quarterback, you have a chance to play well and have a really good year. And he's been able to do that. He's played great. He's been a big part of it. And I'm just really proud of Matthew. I've known him. He grew up in my backyard where I live now in Dallas. And I've been real proud of how he's handled the pressure of this year and the expectations. He wanted to go to L.A. He wanted to do what he's doing now in L.A. and Detroit. I talked to him before the draft. I said, do you really want to be drafted by the Lions? The Lions obviously weren't very good at the time. And he wanted to turn that program around, and it unfortunately just didn't happen for him. But I know Lions fans respect him and appreciate him, and they're out in droves to support him. And for the Rams and Matthew Stafford to be in the Super Bowl, which is what the only expectation was, of course, the plan is to win it, is pretty remarkable. It usually doesn't happen that way.